the federal government, we elect state representatives and state senators for our state legislature. In Florida, there are 120 representatives and 40 senators. These elected officials are responsible for setting our state budget, which include items such as money spent on K-12 education, money spent on the state infrastructure, including roads, airports, and public transportation, and money spent on state parks, correctional facilities, and all aspects of state-regulated programs.
Growing up, I had no idea what I wanted to do. My mom was a doctor and my dad was a civil engineer, and for the longest, I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist. I was like, man, I'm gonna be all Breaking Bad in there. I'm gonna make so much money, it's gonna be great, And then I was also playing football at the time over at East Ridge High School. And it's funny because a lot of people tell me, oh, you're not gonna go anywhere in football, you're not gonna do what you wanna do, you'll never play in college, you'll never play in the NFL, whatever. And one of the big things that my parents told me growing up was, your attitude determines your altitude. No matter what knocks you down, depending on how you get back up and fight back, that'll determine the outcome. And for me, it was great because eventually I went off to Florida State University and I actually played football there and won a national championship. So if you look, a lot of times people will be like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, but through resilience, through hard work and perseverance, you can do whatever you want to do.
You have to follow your passion. The normal way to go and what people are telling you to do isn't necessarily the way that's right for you. If you follow your passion, you'll be successful. Limiting your needs. Don't spend on things that make you happy and gratify you in that moment. Spend money on things that will help you in the long run, that you invest in your future. Work in a profession that rewards your hard work. Real estate was it for me because the harder I work, the more money I make. And finally, be a good person. Be a good husband, be a good father.
What did you want to be or do when you were 14 or 15? What was important to you? I wanted to just pass all my classes. I didn't have much time for hobbies or anything like that. I wanted to make sure I got through. And I thought about, well, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? At that point, I couldn't even envision the rest of my life. I was 14. What was I going to be? As a woman, when I was 14, you didn't have too many choices. You could be a secretary, you could be a hairdresser, you could work in a department store. These sound like exciting jobs, right? Or you could be a nurse or a teacher. So I didn't have as many options as you kids have nowadays. You can do just about anything you want. There are women that are pilots of jets. I couldn't even pilot a car, but I didn't have too many choices.
When I went to college, I went and didn't know really what I wanted to be when I grew up. So after my first year at the university, I went to Europe and studied, worked in England, and then later in Spain. I came home after a year and a half of my European travels and decided that I wanted to go to major in political science. So I graduated the University of Florida with a political science degree. And when I graduated, I went to Washington, D.C. to work for a Republican member out of St. Petersburg, Florida. His name is Bill Young. He's deceased. And I handled his defense and NASA appropriation matters for him on his staff. I later worked at NASA headquarters under the Reagan administration. And then I spent the last 24 years in Washington, D.C., representing the shipbuilding industry of the United States. The last 14 years, I was the president of the American Shipbuilding Association.
Why education is so important to me, to you. We can do what we want to do in life if we apply ourselves and if we have the opportunities that we should have. And I'm talking about you. If you have the opportunities you should have, it's up to us to give them to you, to make them available for you so that you make whatever use of them you can.
I want to encourage you young people, sometimes in your life setbacks will occur. Failure may occur at times, but it's not fatal. as long as you make the necessary adjustments to overcome it, to continue to move forward and never give up, never quit. I was appointed the first ever African-American chief of police for Clermont and all of South Lake County. You can do it, continue to move forward, and again, do not ever give up. When I was your age, around 15 and 16, there's a couple things I thought about doing prior to becoming a police officer. I played football in college, so I thought maybe coming out of a small college, I might be able to play in the NFL one day, or play overseas somewhere in another country. I also, while I was in college, I worked for security. I was catching shoplifters in some of our big box stores in New York. So I thought maybe, become the security manager over various different retail stores. I also thought about being a business person. Before laptops, we carried briefcases. So I thought of traveling to New York City, Manhattan every day in a suit and carrying a briefcase, working for some big 500 Fortune company or a large organization in the New York City Police Department. In the city of New York. But as I mentioned before, I joined the ranks of the New York City Police Department because I wanted to make a significant difference in the lives of all. I want to utilize this profession to make a difference. 22 years later as the chief of police, same mission, same goal, to utilize this profession, utilize this office to make a difference in the lives of other people and in the community that we serve.
I had no idea what I wanted to do at 14 and 15. I can tell you right now, I never in a million years dreamed that I'd be in the Florida Senate, which is where I am now. You would have asked me probably 10 years ago, 12, I've been in the Senate for 10 years. 11 years ago, if I thought I'd be in the Florida Senate, I probably would have told you no. This was not something that was on my horizon or something that I was looking to do. It was because I cared so much about the state and I wanted to be able to make a difference. And it was a little bit later and I had the opportunity to run for office, and my campaign speech went something like, I have no idea if I'm going to be effective, but I want to get up there and work, I want to make a difference, I want to change things. And was able to get elected with that. Several years ago, we had a situation where whenever a student played, when they were maybe played on a team, like a community team, and then went to a school, and they found out that they knew the coach from the community team, the student was punished, and the student couldn't play, and the student was barred. And I fixed that so that it was pointing to the adults. If it supposedly was recruited, the adult did the recruiting, and the adult should be the one who's in trouble, not the student, and not making the student complain just because they moved from one location to another.
Make sure you are true to yourself and true to your constituents. Never tell a lie, because it will come back and bite you in the butt. And it'll stay with you forever. Stay out of trouble and everything will go fine.